You're listening to the Barretta Brothers, two of us. For best results, use both ears.
Are we there? Are we here? Are we on?
Can anybody see us?
I think they can. I didn't see the card first, but we're here, right? We're on? We're good? Hello. I think we're on, Gene.
Okay, well, as far as I can tell, we're on. Listen, Billy, every time we're together,
Yes.
it's like being reborn.
Oh. Well, every time I see you, it's like Christmas morn all over again.
Wow.
So
The times
how I
spend
feel.
with you, I get a little chill, like a first kiss with a girl I've had a
Really?
crush on for years.
Well, you need to speak to someone about that. So let's talk about what's coming, what's happening. Come on.
Okay, well, sure.
It's because unfortunately, folks, we apologize. We started a little late. We had a few little things on our end, but we're all good. We're just getting this thing going. Next week, it'll be even worse. So hang in there with us, and it'll be awesome.
Next week, you just won't see us. You'll just hear us.
Maybe. Yeah. No, this is great. We're having fun. So we should mention we have our good friend Tom Bergeron coming up as our first guest, right?
Yep. In a few. We're
yeah.
going to follow that up with our good friends from way back when, Bob Schooley and Mark McCorkle, who are renowned producers and writers for animated television shows, movies. They've written a book together. They created Kim Possible. They work.
Oh my gosh, so many things.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so many great Hercules and Aladdin, the series Aladdin. Now they're on Big Hero 6. That's a new series of theirs that they've been doing. So they're amazing. I can't believe we actually know them.
Maybe they've forgotten us, so we'll have to ask them a few questions about the past.
Yeah, we'll remind them a little bit. Yeah.
Here's the phone number if you want to call in. In the U.S., it is 888-627-6008. That is 888-627-6008. Internationally, 323-744-4831. And
I wanted to mention something.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but so last night I made like a homemade mac and cheese, right? With bacon. I know you don't eat meat, but with bacon.
Right.
And it had mozzarella cheese and I like different cheeses. And then today I went to wash the pot and I learned something.
What?
Don't try and wash a pot with cheese in it with hot water. You know why? Well, it just keeps going. It's just more cheese. If you use cold water, it solidifies the cheese and then it comes out easier. And then you can wash it with hot. I just thought maybe people would be interested. The next time you're making a cheesy thing, don't wash your pot with hot water at first.
You know what that kind of reminds me of?
What?
I was in storage yesterday and I found this.
Oh my God. Quickly tell that because we got to bring Tom on.
Right. Well, this is an old stomach distress bag. The reminded me of this vomit distress bag from the movie Mark of the Devil back in the early 70s. We'll tell you that story a little later in the show, but I wanted to show you what I found.
Yeah, that was awesome.
First guest.
Well, let's do it. Let's bring him.
He's waiting. We'll bring him on.
I'm Tom Terrific, greatest hero ever.
Here he comes.
Terrific is the name for me, cause I'm so clever. I can be what I want to be. And
Tom. Come on, Tom.
Follow me.
Hey. Did you hear your theme music?
I didn't hear theme music. Not at all, no.
Sorry, wait, hold on. Don.
Right.
Oh, Don, please do it again, would you? Don's going to bring it on. Come on, Don.
I'm Tom Terrific, greatest hero ever. Terrific is the name for me, cause I'm so clever. I can be what I want to be, and if you'd like to see, follow me.
Ah, Tom.
Wow, that's good. I like that. I'm gonna use that forever.
You know that? Do you know that at all? Have you familiar with that?
From Tom Terrific?
An old cartoon. It was an
Oh
old.
yeah, I remember Tom.
Oh, you know it. Okay.
And his mighty dog Manfred.
That's
Exactly.
right. You are Tom Terrific, as far as I'm concerned.
I have an animation cell from that cartoon, by the way.
Do you
Oh, you
really?
do?
Yeah.
Oh.
Cool.
How are you?
I'm good.
You look good.
Birds are nesting in my hair now, but other than that, that's pretty good.
Oh, well, I hope they're friendly and they lay eggs or something. You know, you gotta.
Yeah.
You don't have to have things delivered all the time. You
No, that's right. You just reach up, crack one, open it. There you go. How are you guys holding up?
We're good.
Doing well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just,
we're separate, but we're good.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's better that way.
Yeah.
Hey,
over here.
hey, I oughta. No, I guess I think people are gonna. I just want to maybe start with a question that I think a lot of people are curious about, at least Muppet folks and fans, and so we've done a lot of Muppet things together
Absolutely.
over the years, right? And I was trying to count, and I don't know, I think it was 7 or 8 different, who knows, collaborations.
Yeah.
But is there something? And I know people follow you. There's a whole Muppet wiki page about you and the Muppets.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Oh yeah. But is there something, was there a particular thing that we've done together, the Muppets and you, that you as a favorite thing? And maybe also, what's the kind of oddest thing about working with the Muppets? Is there something, that people don't realize from a human's perspective, what that's
Yeah,
like?
well, I'll start with that. The oddest thing, and I've said this to a number of people, is that you guys infuse the Muppets with such personalities that I always forget the humans are still there.
Great.
You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
when I'm talking to Piggy or Kermit or any one of you guys as Muppets, I forget that there's a danger I could step on a human. But my favorite memory is of doing the overnight of the Muscular Dystrophy Telethon.
Oh man!
In Vegas, and we'd be seconds from air, and we'd be just shooting ideas at each other, and then we'd be on live, and we'd do it. Were you there the night? Of course, it's like 3 a.m. It's like a Fellini wet dream.
I was always there. Yeah.
Well, there was Bob the Spoon played Flight of the Bumblebee on spoons of different sizes. And so then the camera came to me and I figured, well, we're on live television. So I said, so I'm listening to Bob the Spoon and I'm thinking, what the fork was that?
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I just remember the very first year that we did something with Jerry, they gave us a script of the 11 to 5 a.m. time.
Yeah.
And it had where we were supposed to be and the lines and, the different script and stuff. The year we did it with you, which I think was the second time we did it, maybe the third, but I think the second time, it was this thick and it just said Muppets improvise.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
There was no,
Yeah.
so you and we just improvised everything.
It was the best.
Yeah.
Did you have a preference with Pepe versus Johnny Fiamma?
I like Johnny. I mean, Pepe's great, but Johnny, you can really riff with Johnny. You know what I mean?
And he's such a good singer.
Yes, he is. He is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was watching some interviews with you over the course of the week because, frankly, before last Sunday, I had no idea who you were. So I did lots of research.
Hey, Bill, who's he?
He just showed up. It's a Zoom chat. And he just showed up somehow.
I've been following you since going through the minor leagues and up through your World Series and everything. So I came across a special interest of yours, and I think out of all the things that you've achieved, your proudest must be interviewing Moe and Larry.
Oh yeah. And interestingly, I am where I'm at the house here in Calabasas, not far away from where Larry was living at the Motion Picture Television Fund facility in Woodland Hills. So there's a certain almost a synergy about all this. I was 16 years old, and
can I just interject one quick thing? I just want to make sure for those youngsters out there that we're talking about the Incredible Three Stooges.
Yes,
Moe and Larry Fine. Yes.
Right, and they were back when would this be like 71 or 72, Moe and Larry were still alive. I was, growing up in high school in Haverhill, Massachusetts, and I cold called information in LA and got the number for a Larry Fine that turned out to be not that Larry Fine, but the woman who answered the phone said, "Oh, we get these calls occasionally. I know where he is."
Wow.
So she gave me the number of the motion picture country home in Woodland Hills. About a half hour later, I'm talking to Larry, and I swear to God, during the chat, he goes, "You want Moe's number?" And he gave me Moe's home phone number. So then I called. Now I'm 16 years old and I'm kind of nervous, but
oh my God.
Called Moe's house. Moe comes to the phone after his wife gets him, and he was not happy initially.
Really?
He went, "Who gave you this number?" And I said, "Larry did." And he, as I remember it, he paused and just went, "Larry."
It was Larry all the time.
Lame brain.
I can hear that.
Yeah.
I listened to the interviews.
sorry.
I listened to the interviews you did. You don't sound like a 16-year-old at all. Your voice was really mature and developed at that point.
Yeah, I actually sound older then, I think, than I do now. And partly because I was trying to achieve a certain level of gravitas so that they would know that I was, a serious fan and I knew their work and I wasn't just, "Hey, hi, are you really Moe?" That we had I remember there was one question which, when we turned those interviews that I could find into a special with Howard Stern, there was one question I asked. I don't even know how I thought to ask it. I said to Moe, "Would you call what you do slapstick or farce?" And Moe seized on that. He said, "What we do is pure farce." And I felt pretty good. I don't know why. I must have read that somewhere or something.
Wow.
But,
Speaking of living near Stooge-related things, I live a half an hour from the Stoogeum. Have you ever been there?
No.
Do you know about it?
No.
Oh my gosh, Tom, you have to go online and look this up. One of Larry's relatives started a museum called the Stoogeum, and it's got all the relics and memorabilia you could ever imagine seeing that's Stooge related.
A lot of ripped out hair and things like that.
It's a great trip. They're only open like maybe once a week or something, but of course now they're not.
Yeah.
But you can look it up. You'll be.
And now because of COVID-19, when you walk in, they go, "Spread out."
Yeah, that's right. That's right. See, that's a Tom Bergeron moment there. That's spontaneous and loose, which is what I think people love. That's what I love when we get to work together.
Mildly amusing. So that's
not really funny.
No,
but
spontaneous. Yeah.
But seriously, I think people would love to know, people that are interested in getting into this arena of what we do for a living, entertainment. How do you deal with, everybody has their things, but how do you deal with nerves and, like, for live TV especially, Dancing with the Stars? My favorite bits of Dancing with the Stars, and I know I've sent you little messages.
Yes.
Some of the little things that I don't think people catch as you're going out or coming in, best. But how do you stay calm and relaxed in that way?
Well, I think how you label energy is important. What I've told, like, some of the celebs who on the first show are at their most nervous before they go out, I said, if you think of it as nerves, that's a negative. If you think of it as excitement, it's the same kind of feel. But it's a more positive spin. Then it becomes, instead of becoming a deterrent, it becomes fuel. So that's same energy, just how you approach it. But when I go out on stage at dancing, a live show with, I think we have like an 8-second delay in case Bruno goes.
All right.
But I'm like a kid on Christmas morning. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I'm listening to everything.
Yeah.
I get excited about it.
Do you sorry, go ahead, Gene.
I was just going to add, you employ meditation as well.
Yes, yeah. I've been doing TM meditation for 39 years, And,
Sorry, what's TM? What's TM meditation?
That's it's the Beatles made it famous with the Maharishi back in the '60s.
Oh, okay.
You know, you just used a Sanskrit mantra as your focal point, but I think they would argue this point. I think, but meditation is meditation. You know, it's like Coke and Pepsi. I mean, whether you're focusing on your breath or a word or you know, a mantra, whatever, it's that repetition, building that mental muscle to stay in the present moment, to be here and now, you know, instead of frittering around, worrying about things that happened or might happen, yada yada.
Then
I like Coke.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
You come out of it
Not
writing
Pepsi.
really amazing songs too.
Pardon?
You come out of it writing really amazing songs.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
right. That's true.
Yeah,
How true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Although McCartney doesn't return my calls, so you know. What are you gonna do?
So how are you guys dealing with Dancing with the Stars? I think people
I
are
don't,
probably
you know,
curious.
it's fascinating because the network just announced that they picked it up for another season.
Yeah.
And so I texted the executive producer. I said, you know, so I'm reading, Aaron actually texted me to tell me. I hadn't heard anything about it. So I went online and read, oh, apparently we got picked up. But I texted our executive producer and he said, we're not really sure how we're going to do it yet.
Right.
And you know, that's a real concern. Dancing with the Stars requires
Contact.
Sweaty people making contact.
Yeah, right. And lots of hugs and tears
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah,
Right.
and you know, thinking of doing it without an audience is kind of a bummer. I know, you know, sports teams are facing that possibility as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know when it's coming back or how it's coming back. Just that, according to the network, it is coming back.
Yeah.
You reminded me of, I saw WWE like 2 weeks ago, and they're still doing shows, but in empty arenas.
Yeah.
And it's really odd because you kind of just hear the, oh, ow, ooh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They ought to have a cricket sound effect just in the background, you know, little tumbleweed rolling by. I don't know.
It's almost like the Three Stooges in a way. It's like, come over here.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
Oh.
my career's come full circle. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So are you working on anything from home? Are you like creating from home? I know you just like to be, well, I know you like to relax, but I think you like to do things, right? Keep busy.
Well, yeah, we just did, Yvette Nicole Brown and I just co-hosted a fundraiser for the Motion Picture Television Fund. And we did that. We went to a studio and stayed socially distanced, you know, and all that, but had inserts from, you know, George Clooney and Hugh Jackman and Bryan Cranston.
wow.
Just a whole, Sheryl Crow, I mean, a whole bunch of people. And I just did, the Sheryl Crow thing actually was, we did a reboot of Hollywood Squares for a fundraiser for the New York Restoration Project, which is a pet charity of Bette Midler. And she reached out.
Who's that? Sorry.
That's my granddogger walking behind me, little Alva.
Dogger.
Granddogger. Yeah, that's my daughter's dog. Yeah.
Oh, cute.
Yeah,
Sorry.
She's camera shy, apparently. But so Whoopi did it, and Robert De Niro, Billy Crystal.
Oh, wow.
Matthew Broderick, and Sarah
Sorry, I
Jessica
missed.
Parker.
When's it coming? Or you did
Well,
it?
it was streamed online, like all of this.
I missed it.
For
man.
that fundraiser. Yeah.
Oh, right.
I have a
Nice.
quick question from two cousins, Ben and Jackson, if you don't mind answering.
No.
It goes back to the AFV days, and they ask, were there ever videos that were just too violent or painful to see that you avoided putting on the air?
You know, I can think of only one time, and that's pretty amazing given that I did that for 15 years, but there was only one video that I remember going to the producer, Vin DeBona, and saying, I don't think we should air that one. It was two little kids, and, you know, like little brothers or whatever, kind of like you guys, only much younger, and one pushed the other one out of the frame, and there was a little carpeted staircase there. And I said, you know, that's not what we, you know, you could hear that the kid survived, but, but I just think it's too easy to emulate stuff. And if we're making a big joke out of it, it might not be the best thing to do.
You know, we have a caller, actually.
All right.
If we could take a call,
Sure.
actually from an old friend of ours, Gene. Hey, Don, can you let our friend Tony on? Tony?
Hello? Can you hear
Dr.
me?
Fauci. Dr.
Oh,
Fauci?
it's Dr. Fauci.
Tony, well, oh my goodness. Listen, I'm very busy, but I wanted to take the time
Yeah.
to say congratulations to you, Billy,
Oh,
and
yes.
Gene, on your vlogcast. Much success.
Thank you.
Say hi to Tom.
Tom, is this a Mr. Bergeron?
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc, you can call me Tom.
I can call you Tom. That's
Yes,
That's
yes.
wonderful. But here's the thing: I go back. I go back with the two of them many years, and I think they might remember back. I think it was the late '80s.
Yes, our cousin Angie.
May have been. You remember that? But
Yes.
I had my hands full at that time, and I wanted to take her out to the movies, but I never got the chance.
Right.
But yeah. Well, anyway, I think Billy, you were headed to New York to.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, at that time.
Wait, did you want
that's all
to?
I
Did
remember.
you want to ask Mr. Bergeron anything? Tom? Sorry, Tom.
Actually, yeah. Well, you were talking about nerves and how.
About what?
Label.
Nerds. No, nerds.
Nervous.
Oh,
Yes.
nerves. Yes.
And it's interesting because before I get up to speak about the current situation, and the president has just gone up, and I have to either follow him or I have to go up there before him, I say to myself, don't be nervous, just call this heroic tension.
Heroic tension.
That helps. Heroic tension always
Yeah.
helps me, especially when I hear some of the things I hear that I must
Okay.
correct.
Yeah.
Well, Tony, it's a wonderful question. I wasn't quite a question, but thank you for calling in. We really appreciate it. Please call back again. It's great to hear from you.
Thank
I
you,
know you're
Tom.
busy
Well,
and
you know, I'm sorry.
tired. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, boys, very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's.
All right. Well,
and-
thanks for
and-
calling.
Oh,
We lost
See,
him.
That's what
Somehow we
happens.
lost him.
Yeah, sleep deprivation can make you crazy.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
Yeah,
We haven't spoken to him in so long, and we see him all the time on the TV
Yeah.
now.
yeah.
And then
is it possible that was Dr. Fauci Sr.?
no, it's Tony.
Okay.
Yeah. No, sorry, Tom.
No, that's all right. My favorite Dr. Fauci tick is the face palm. when Trump is yapping and he just goes, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. How do I flip this?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Now the frowns are hidden by the mask now.
For this, I went to medical school.
Well, I think unless you want to hang out with us as our next guest come on, I don't know if you're into it, if you want to hang, but we would love to have you, or we can say.
You know, I don't think I'm going anywhere until July. So, so I'm
Cool.
fine. Yeah,
You
I
wanna
can hang
stay?
out. Sure.
So our next guests are actually friends of ours who we grew up with.
Unlike
who-
me.
who are unlike you, but have become writer-producers for Disney, for Nickelodeon. They created great shows like Kim Possible. They're just amazing, and they started out, hanging out with. Oh wait, I thought they're not here yet. What the
All
hell?
the more reason for me to stick around then.
Yeah, good. Well, what do you want to do? What should we talk about?
Let's
I
talk
have
about
a
them.
question. I have
Yes.
something that I found interesting in one of the interviews I saw about you, is that you had the one-man show and you were doing some live improv where you would take call to the audience for situations, time, place,
Right.
and it played into what you spoke about when it came to dealing with programs that are live and spontaneous and the unpredictable happens. And it almost seems like you prefer being in that kind of situation versus
I do.
something just harshly strictly scripted and all that.
Yeah, or pre-taped. I mean, one of the reasons I've loved working with the Muppets over the years is it's all, it's always loose, even if it's scripted. The core of the points you're trying to get to, like in good improv, you have a beginning, middle, and end, but how you weave those things together is improvisational and wonderful. In some ways, AFE was harder for me to do than the dancing show, only because of the nature of a pre-taped show. And there'd be occasions when, for example, they'd play a video in the studio, and my inclination would be to refer back to it, but we don't know if it's going to be in the final edit. So I'd have to hold my time. It looks like some guests are showing up.
Oh, just kind of popped in. Yeah, that's Mark McCorkle. Mark, can you hear us?
Mark?
I can. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You just popped on. Usually,
I thought it was a virtual waiting room or something.
It was.
So we thought.
Lee, I feel so rude that I've interrupted.
No, don't worry. We were just riffing, waiting for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I find that hard to believe.
No, it's true. Tom wanted to hang out. He actually wanted to hang out while you guys were on, so we were just hanging in.
Tom,
where's Bob?
Mark.
Is he going to come?
Bob's going to come. He'll do it the correct way.
You think?
Yeah.
I think you did it the correct way. I think you just got somehow something just allowed you to get
There was talk of a virtual waiting room and some guy who was going to scrutinize me to make sure.
That's right, Don.
A virtual cavity search. And
I went right past Don.
Yeah, you just completely avoided Don.
So,
this is Mark McCorkle, Tom Bergeron.
Tom, nice to meet you.
Mark McCorkle. That's Gene.
Gene,
nice to meet you, Mark.
I'm familiar with your work. So Tom, I do have I hope you don't mind, a question.
No.
About Dancing with the Stars, because this family watches it.
We asked it already. But go ahead.
Well, here's my question. Gosh, it's a lot of dancing. Do you ever do you ever get to a point where you're like, whew, maybe I got to switch it up, or
and do something
you just laugh, you just drink it in. You
yeah. So like one season, do macrame with the stars or something like that. Yeah.
Cooking with the stars.
Yeah.
My wife and daughter are both dancers, so they love it. And I love watching it. But there's a point where it's like dancing again, huh? All right. Well, it's working. It's working. So
sometimes
title for you.
Yeah, sometimes when you see the Muppets, you go, really? More puppets? Oh,
more. That's right. We're doing that again.
We're doing that again.
Rainbow Connection? Again?
Yeah, really.
Well, I feel like there was a phase there with the Muppets, and it was working great where they did that Talking Head song "Wildlife." Every time they did like a montage of greatest Muppet moments, it was to that song "Wildlife," and it was like,
oh yeah. That was their highlight? That was the highlight of the Muppets for you?
Well, they kind of kept doing it for a while there.
Oh, I see.
What's
Muppets Now going to be on Disney Plus?
What's it going to be?
Yeah, is it?
Well, I kind of can't tell you exactly what it's going to be, but it's an unscripted series.
Okay.
A loose kind of series. That's what it is.
Are you allowed to say
it'll be out in July.
Do you guys go out and about and intermingle with real folks?
I'm sorry, I'm not allowed.
You can't divulge any of that.
I'm afraid not. No, not especially not to someone like yourself.
Because I'm a blabbermouth.
Blabbermouth.
Yeah, I don't know what you're gonna do. Oh, wait, Bob, bring Bob in. Yes, please let him pop in. Bob's here.
How did Bob end up in the waiting room and I did?
I don't know. You skipped it. There he is.
Bob.
He doesn't look happy.
Bob,
smile.
Our nickname for Bob is the Tower of Glower.
Let me just introduce real quick.
Sure.
Bob Schooley, Tom Bergeron.
Bob.
Bob Schooley.
Hang with us. Well,
these are
outside, but the birds are so loud out there. It's crazy.
We didn't get a chance to introduce who Bob and Mark are to our audience. Bill, do you want to kick that?
I thought we were going into a waiting room where suddenly.
See, this is where we. You know what? We apologize. We thought. We thought you were going into a waiting room as well, Tom.
You were
great. In a waiting room.
I was. I got hot towels and some bottled water. It was
you guys. It was great. You guys didn't. You did not follow the directions, apparly. Tom
I did. I clicked
knows
on
how
the
to do
wrong
these
thing.
things. Celebrities know how to do these sorts of things.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, so Bob and Mark are close old friends of ours.
Very old.
And we met back in, well, let's see, Gene, you knew Mark before I did, but
Middle
in the early 80s.
middle school. I think I was in 7th grade. You were in 8th grade when we first met.
Do you remember the moment?
I do. It was at like a foreign language festival in the gymnasium or something, wasn't it? And you had Bill there doing Professor Gumby from Monty Python, and so I only knew him as Little Gumby because he was
Little Gumby.
little.
Oh my God!
Little
Wow.
young
How
fellow.
we connected.
But what do you remember?
Well, I don't remember the foreign festival part of it, but I remember
feel like it
being
was-
in the gym
Yeah.
talking about Monty Python and Mr. Gumby. We were both
Mr.
imitating
Gumby.
Mr. Gumby.
I don't remember Mr. Gumby. At
You were
all.
dressed up as him for some reason, and
Oh my God!
then the next time, we saw each other at school. But when I knew that Bill was a special case, when I knew he was a real specimen, I was filling in for somebody on their paper route. And I was in like a neighborhood I wasn't usually in. It was wintertime, and it was kind of a drag. And I see this kid sledding by himself, having a blast. And as the kid comes closer, approaching me, he's got blood cascading down his head. And I go a little closer. I go, Little Gumby, are you okay? And he gets close enough. I realize he's painted red fake blood on his head to go sledding. And I'm like, who does that? Like who? I mean, for a normal kid, the joy of sledding is enough. I'm gonna go
Oh my
sledding.
God!
But Bill had to add that extra layer of,
Yeah,
I'm gonna go have fun, and I'm gonna freak out some
Like
kid
a-
delivering newspapers.
That's like a Tim Burton move or something. It sounds-
We weren't in the middle. We weren't shooting one of our Super 8 movies or anything.
I don't think so, because I think you were not there.
It's just something I did. It was just something
Yeah.
I like to do.
It adds a level.
He was with his imaginary friend. He wasn't alone, so he was entertaining the imaginary.
Yeah. But we all kind of met in the came together, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump ahead. a little
Jump
bit.
ahead, leap ahead, please.
To the early 80s at a theme park called Sesame Place. Tom, that's where we all met. We happened to have Sesame Place in our hometown, basically.
Mhm.
And we all worked there in the summer. And that's where we met. And I'm going to jump quickly to, aside from becoming friends, Bob and Mark decided that they could create training films for Sesame Place, but in a humorous kind of fun way to get through to the employees. So, Gene, do you want to show? We have like a little piece.
Oh dear God!
Forgive us. The quality is really, bad, and it might be a little re-edited. But this will give you a sense of Bob and Mark, kind of how they approach this in a fun, silly way.
Oh my goodness!
This is our friend Jeff.
30 years later,
You know, this is a misconception about janitorial work. While it may not be the best thing since bubblegum, janitorial work at Sesame Place isn't really as bad as that.
That's Mark
There's one
McCorkle.
other thing you should be prepared for. With all of these kids around, there are occasional small digestive accidents.
And that's
By
me.
covering the offending matter with a special absorbent powder, the mess can be cleaned up easily.
There you go.
Wow.
That was good. Life at a theme park was pretty wild.
Life at a theme park, yeah. But the fact that how old were you guys when you kind of ventured into this? I mean, what, 18 or something? And they allowed you guys to kind of create this production company and do your thing, right?
Well, I did a video as a project for college that was like a orientation video, and they bought it from me. So I used that money to buy equipment, but it was this really controversial thing at college because you weren't supposed to actually make a profit on your student films.
Yeah.
So they put a rule in after that. But
The Schooley protocol. You're not gonna make a dime off this.
yeah, but that's how we had.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, Bob.
It's crazy back then that having a VCR was like this insane thing to own in 1980.
Well, do you remember how much videos would cost if you went into a rental store to buy a video? They were over $100.
Yeah, it was like 100.
Yeah. Now I've got all my movies right in here.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and I will say too, having the video camera to go out and do shoots, no one was paying us. We were just doing the other stuff just for fun. All of us as a group of friends. if you had a camera and a cameraman, people let you do stuff. We interrupted the Thanksgiving Day parade in Philly one day.
Yeah.
We just went.
Well, that's the thing. So it became this troupe that would go around with, you know, in the back of our minds, I think we were thinking, you know, maybe we could get this on a cable station somehow, and we could turn this into something. But it's true. Whoever we approached would buy into it. And Mark was such a great host. He played the host. We gave him a name, right? You were Skip Johnson.
Skip Johnson.
And Gene, you got that?
Oh, dear.
Yeah, also, too, though, we've got Bob's dad was a floor manager at the local NBC or CBS.
CBS then.
CBS.
So we got badges to walk freely along the Thanksgiving Day parade and all that. But this is some things we would try to put together.
So just some quick examples of Mark on the prowl.
Oh, man.
And just winging it.
My name's Skip Johnson. I'm from Landscope. I was wondering, do you live here in this town?
Yeah.
Do you have any complaints? Anything you'd change about the town?
No.
Is it a good time on the weekend? Saturday night, you go out with the boys?
Yep.
Do you have arms?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we don't see them. Have a good day, Vinny. Take it easy, buddy. Well, there you have it. Another case of a child posing as an armless individual. My name's Skip Johnson. I'm from Landscope. From your one-day visit, what do you think?
I like it a lot. I've been here before. So I go to Princeton.
And you come back again?
And come back. It's a lot of fun.
You go to Princeton?
Yeah.
Oh, what's your major there?
Comparative literature.
Comparative literature.
I go to George Washington University.
Literature.
Ooh. I guess we're talking to pretty smart people now. Thanks very much for your time. You're both awfully pretty, and I have two guys over here that are a little bit shy, and they'd kind of like to go out to dinner tonight. And they'd like to go with you two. What do you think?
We're going back to Princeton.
Oh.
No, I just sort of...
These guys are nice guys. Come here, Guido. This is our sound man. He's a really nice guy.
Hi. You look like a nice guy, but like...
Anyway.
Oh.
Smooth. Right? Smooth. Really smooth. Yeah.
But people were excited to see someone with a camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not all of them, and we were trying to build things, so not all of them were that kind of, they would fall apart. There was actually structure and a plan, right? There were other more we go to different towns and some scripted stuff. Yeah.
We did.
Anyway.
We went through the Philadelphia Thanksgiving Day parade, right through the barriers. Mark was marching with the Philadelphia Eagles cheerleaders, learning how to do cheers.
Who were, I believe at the time, they were the Liberty Bells.
The Liberty Bells, that's right.
Still are they?
Are they? I don't know.
But they taught you a cheer and everything.
They did. They taught me a cheer. I don't recall it. But.
You know, I want to, besides this stuff, I guess I've always been curious. I don't think I've ever asked you guys, when was the moment when you realized that you wanted to be a writing team and that you could work, when it felt right and you went, you know what, this makes sense. We should do this somehow. We should do this together. Is there a moment, or did it
was just out of, because we started doing this improv stuff and then did more scripted stuff for the park. I think it was just writing that scripted stuff. We realized we had similar sensibility. Definitely doing the stuff for the park first, and then.
So that early, you guys kind of knew.
Yeah.
Wow. Right.
I think we clicked. We clicked as a writing team.
This cat is.
We still haven't mentioned to the viewers what you guys do.
Oh, I did.
This.
Oh, he did.
This is it.
No, but
I robbed the local stagecoach, and Bob strokes a cat as he plots to world domination. No, we work in animation. We're writer producers in animation. We created Kim Possible for Disney. We were at Disney for many years, and then went to Nickelodeon for a chunk of time. And now we're back at Disney.
But you did things like the Hercules series, right?
Yeah.
Aladdin.
King of Thieves with Robin Williams was fun. That was a
Penguins of Madagascar.
Penguins of Madagascar over at Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
DreamWorks.
Monsters vs. Aliens, right?
Yep.
Big Hero 6 is the current one.
Big Hero 6 is what we're doing now.
We wrote some movies too. We did Sky High and
Hotel for Dogs.
And a bunch that.
So what's the process? How do you guys work? Do you write separately and then come together, or do you
Slightly, we write very separate.
Yeah, very separate. I think in the story phase, the earliest phase, it's good to be together and bounce ideas around. When it's time to put stuff on paper, we tend to work separately and then swap.
Right. Hey, Tom, do you write? Do you write like? I know when that pilot that you had done a little while back, I was hoping was going to go. Were you part of the writing of that, or do you?
No, I didn't. No,
Right.
that was all. You talking about that The Messenger, where I played the messenger of death?
That was great.
Departure from being the cheery video guy. Ben Shelton was the writer director on that.
All right. But do you write? You're so funny.
I did a book a while ago that's holding up some of the finest windows in America right now, called "I'm Hosting as Fast as I Can." that came out about 10 years ago. But
that's how I knew about
beyond that. Pardon?
So I was just saying that's how I knew about your meditation.
That book actually was really about meditation. I just used sort of career anecdotes as sort of a bait and switch, but really it was more about meditation than anything else.
Because I have to say, like, I enjoy having someone to bounce off of when I'm writing something. You can play out scenes. I think it must be harder to just imagine all these characters when you're on your own in a way. And it's fun, but I think there's something about having someone to play off of. Is that
like the Alan Brady, the author with Rob and Sally and Buddy would be in there. That was the gold standard, I think. For anybody.
Always good to have someone tell you if it's no good. Or,
Are you guys? Who's harder on the partner in terms of writing? Are you easy on each other, or do you? One more critical than the other?
I think it tends to be not about the other person, but about the work.
Okay. Yeah.
That's I don't like anything, so.
I will. My philosophy about writing teams is there's always a Bert and an Ernie. And once you look through that filter, when you meet a writing team, you'll instantly go, "Oh my God, I see exactly." The only thing that's happened over the years, I think, as we've gotten older, I've gotten a little more Bert in me at times, so where Bob has to force some Ernie out of him. Because you need the balance. You need somebody who's relentlessly upbeat, going, "No, this is going to be great," and you need someone going.
I would say
we're completely screwed here.
I would say at this time in your life, it's a little bit more like Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah.
Who's the upbeat one in Statler?
So you never came to fisticuffs or anything like that?
No, because it's always about making the work better.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever consider working on solo projects, or is it always, do you need each other to?
It hasn't really come up yet, but I don't know.
We've been lucky that we've never been unemployed for 30 years. So there's never been, this is the longest stretch where we're not sort of churning something out every day.
Would one of you get upset, like the classic story of Laurel and Hardy, when Hardy went off and did another movie and Stan he never forgave him. Would you be put out if your partner suddenly said, "Oh, by the way, I'm doing this on my own"?
I bet at an earlier phase in our career, that might have caused some friction, but now it's like, somebody else gets to do it? All right.
How about you, Bob?
I think we've just gotten so used to being a team, and we've been in the business long enough to see teams break up over stupid things.
Yeah.
But
I over the years, I think the teams that we saw break up, and just sort of follows up Bob's point about steady employment over all these decades, the teams that broke up, it tended to be times got lean, and when money was tight,
two birds.
Yeah.
Can you each tell me what you think the funniest bit or line that each of you has written that you remember?
Yeesh.
Will you work with me?
My favorite line, and I don't know who wrote it actually, whether it was me or you, was in Sky High when it was, "If life were about to get fair, I doubt it would happen in high school." And I think that's
I think that's a Bob line.
Yeah.
Right.
This is like a Lennon McCartney thing. You get confused about who wrote what after a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my memory now. I just cleaned it as part of Stay Home, cleaned our garage and found a bunch of old scripts and stuff. And
Man, some of the stuff he's put on Twitter, they're fantastic. These blasts from the past.
But stuff I had forgotten about that we had worked on, even all these,
Anything you feel like you'd want to revamp or bring, or they'd like to want to work on again?
Yeah, I mean, we have plenty of movie things that sort of got to a point and then stopped. That one.
Would you put Tom in it?
Huh?
Sure.
Would you put Tom in it if he were interested?
If he's ready, let's do it.
Hey, I'm not doing anything else.
Our best movie story was when we sold a movie to Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Danny DeVito was going to direct it, and then he decided to run for governor instead. I was out to dinner with Gene, actually, when we found out.
That's right.
I was in
You
Philadelphia.
were visiting back east, yeah.
I was visiting back east, and Mark called and said, on Jay Leno, and he just announced he's running for governor.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a great way to have a project fall apart. The
You might want to revisit it. I'm sure he's not going to do any more Terminator movies.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you guys employed both Billy and me at different times. You brought me on to write a script for what was it?
Back then or something?
Yeah, Bonkers.
Yeah.
And then you guys moved on a different position or something, and that fell apart. But I went as far as like the first draft, and you hired Billy to do voices on Kim Possible.
Yeah.
That was fun.
What was it, Jackie the Jackal, right? I think
Jackie the Jackal. Yeah. And there's
then,
something.
Then a Jersey mechanic henchman to John DiMaggio.
Right. Yeah.
His
Is there a favorite project of yours that you've worked on? Something you would have loved to do?
I think Kim Possible, yeah. Since we actually created it, and
created it, yeah. So but the live action thing, right? Is that you guys? Were you involved in that? Isn't there a live action?
Yeah, they did a Disney Channel movie. We did some work on it and gave them, our thoughts and guidance.
Right. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But, the animated show, we're still. I mean, we're lucky it was actually produced in HD, so it still holds up when they stick it on Disney Plus.
Oh, right.
I'm amazed.
It was good. A lot of good characters, and it was a really good show.
Ricardo Montalban.
It was fun.
Was fantastic to work.
Oh my God! Wow.
It was so great.
The line we always repeat from that session was there was some line with mouse in it, and he goes to the voice director, is it mouse or mouse?
I would go with mouse. Take 5 minutes to say it.
But him and when we did Hercules, Robert Stack was the narrator.
Oh wow!
That guy was such a living legend, and that was what's fun. Once we in our career got to be showrunners, you could cast or have a say in casting. We had also,
Robin
Williams. I feel terrible that I can't think of his name at the moment because I'm just going to say his character.
Yeah,
the guy who played Mannix. He would drive.
Mike Connors.
Mike Connors would drive down from Big Bear just for one of our stupid voice sessions, and it was so great to meet him. And he had a voice like,
I think
that's what
Hercules. We had like Tim Conway and Harvey Korman together doing something. We had Merv Griffin.
As a
it's
Griffin.
Amazing. Like,
which was great.
do you when you think back, like when you were a kid, do you think, like, for example, Tom, do you think you would ever have met and become friends with Dick Van Dyke and Carl Reiner?
No,
and
not at all.
The fact that we actually live out these dreams of meeting people that we just, how would you ever think?
I got a quick story because you mentioned Harvey and Tim Conway. So we're doing Hollywood Squares, and Harvey and Tim and Carol Burnett are all on the show. And we shot Hollywood Squares on the same stage where they did the Carol Burnett show. So during lunch, because we do 3 shows, break for lunch, then do the Thursday, Friday shows. So I'm sitting, just 4 of us, me, Carol Burnett, Harvey Korman, Tim Conway. And I'm in heaven. So I said to Carol, there was that half season after Harvey, after you left, where Dick Van Dyke actually came on the show. And he didn't stick around very long. She said, no, we had done a show on Broadway, and we're friends, but it just didn't work. And Harvey goes, you needed a Jew.
Tom, do you know what? For some reason, I have in my memory you impersonating Dick Van Dyke doing something from Mary Poppins. Did you do something like that?
Well, I did. I hosted a fundraiser for Dick's arts program, and he sang with the Fantastics, his a cappella group. We all sang "Let's Go Fly a Kite Together," which was amazing. Oh, wow. But one time when I was visiting Carl, I did a Van Dyke pose, sort of I don't know if I can do it right now, but and Dick and I actually did dueling Stan Laurels at lunch, crying Stan Laurels. Yeah, I've got that on my Facebook page somewhere.
Did you see Stan and Ollie?
Yes. Yeah.
I liked it a lot. Did you like it?
I did too. I thought Steve Coogan particularly was
great
because I'm so used to seeing him as Alan Partridge, and and he pulled off a wonderful Stan Laurel, I thought.
And Bob, how long did you run with the Fantastics?
Oh.
He was there almost the whole time.
We did work with Jerry Orbach once, speaking of Fantastics.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
How about your Robin Williams project? Can you tell us about working with him?
Yeah, that was fun because it was the Aladdin direct-to-video sequel. When Robin sort of patched things up with Disney, came back to do it. So we spent a week in San Francisco with him. And it was kind of painful because you had to laugh all day long. It was 5 days, and he needs an audience, and he had us, and
and by the way, it's not like had to laugh as in it's like we were forcing ourselves to laugh.
Oh,
He's brilliantly funny, but at the end of the day, you go back to the hotel and go, wait, there are these muscles here that I had no idea that they were there. That laughing exercises. It's
weird. When we lived in Philadelphia, we went to go see him. I think he played at Princeton or something, Carter Theater, and then to be sitting as his only audience, and he was great. He didn't know who we were.
Yeah, but took our suggestions, and
riffing off.
And at lunch, ate with everybody. It wasn't like he had to go off somewhere separate or whatever.
You mentioned when he made up with Disney, that was over Aladdin and his compensation for the genie. I understand Disney gave him, what was it, like a Picasso?
Picasso.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah, as I recall, Joe Roth patched it up when he, took over the film studio.
Wow.
But that was a bit of a dream.
Is there anything you guys want to mention before we're going to have to start wrapping it up in a minute or so? Any projects or things like that? How you doing?
Anything you want to say about me, maybe about my hair or anything? How I look today?
I already said everything about you.
Yeah, Bill, I do something about that pink curtain behind you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all.
Just remove it, basically.
Yeah.
Just remove it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Tom, I'm going to prove my
away from you.
passion to you. When we get off, Billy's going to forward you some images because I write and illustrate children's books, and 10 times now the Three Stooges have made background cameos in my book.
Oh, no kidding! I'd love to see those. Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to be forwarding you images, Tom. This is the first I've heard of it.
Forwarding images. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for talking with us, guys. Tom, it's great to have you come on board as a co-host.
Thanks. Yeah. I'm
sorry. Thank you. No,
I'm so happy you stayed.
I'm
so happy you stayed. It's really great to have our friends here, and
this was cool.
What a great fun show. I really appreciate it. We were really grateful. Thank you.
I'm going to go back into the green room because I left some of my bottled water.
Yes, and don't forget there's the cookies and the brownies and the little champagne, the small champagne.
And by the way, the socially distanced massage therapist did a wonderful job.
It's more like Reiki, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, it is.
And so you guys didn't get that, huh? That didn't, Bob and Mark?
We just got plunged right in.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, Bob, do you want to say anything about the guide dogs? Is there anything that you can...
Well, we raise guide dogs for Guide Dogs of America out here. And right now, I think they're sort of on hold because the blind people come there to get trained on them, so they can't do that. So,
Bob, sorry, that's a cat.
You're holding a cat, Bob.
Yes.
Our guys have to be
That's
other-
why business hasn't been so good.
Yeah.
Mark, he doesn't know it's a cat.
He has good days and bad days.
All right.
Just play along.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Well, this was great, you guys. Tom, what an
Thank you.
honor to meet you. This is
A
exciting.
pleasure. Same here. Same here. Thanks so much. I really enjoyed it.
This is how we contact. This is how we say goodbye. We contact our engineer in the old-fashioned Jack Benny way. Oh, Don, take us out, Don.
Now wait a minute.
Join us next week. Next week, we're going to have the Blasucci family, Dick Blasucci, Anthony Blasucci, and Maria Blasucci, writers of Family Guy, SCTV, actress, and we're going to have our uncles Harry and Paul to join us as well.
Come on back.
Till then, see you next Saturday.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Come on, Bob. Shake it up.